Now, José Mourinho should apologise to Chelsea team doctor Eva Carneiro for publicly humiliating her. So says Liverpool's former head of medicine, Dr. Peter Bruckner. Carneiro angered the Chelsea boss after running onto the pitch to treat the Belgian attacker Eden Hazard in the final minutes of their match against Swansea on Saturday. After the game, Mourinho described his medical staff as impulsive and naive, adding that they did not understand the game. OK, let's talk to Dr. Ralph Rogers, who's a former Chelsea first-team doctor who joins us via webcam from High Wycombe. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm quite interested, and I'm sure our viewers are as well. Is it right that a manager interferes with your job when it comes down to the safety of the players?
Managers don't do that majority of the time. They leave it up to their medical staff. When they trust their medical staff, they leave it up to their medical staff.
And so do you think Mourinho was interfering in this instance?
I'm not sure, I wasn't there. What I can tell you is that it's the physician's job to do what they need to do. If they find that there's a player injured, they should run on the pitch. I think in the light of the day, José Mourinho would say the same thing. And I'd like to point out, as I pointed out throughout the day, that he's always been very complimentary and supportive of his medical staff. I'm not sure what happened in this particular incident, and was this the straw that broke the camel's back? Are there other things going on? But he's always been very supportive, whether he's been in Europe or whether he's been in this country. He's always relied on his medical staff.
Can you tell us then how the relationship works? You are there for the safety of the players. If, as in this instance, a player on the pitch appears injured, seriously injured, do you have to ask permission to the manager before you run on the pitch, or do you ever have a discussion with the manager, or do you just simply go?
You know, there are a lot of nuances, there are a lot of questions there. If you see, for example, a concussed player, someone that you think went up for a header, fell on his neck, and you think they broke their neck, you don't ask anybody, you run onto the pitch and you take the consequences. You don't even ask the referee, you just run. Or you know that someone's broken their leg and you can see it, it's a compound fracture, you go. You don't, it's not, this is just happens to be an isolated incident. And I don't want to get this blown out of proportion. Doctors in general don't ask the managers to go on the pitch. They have their own rules and regulations.
There are lots of suggestions, and I think you've alluded to this, that as a specific incident, there are many suggestions because Eva Carneiro acknowledged this row, this disagreement on Facebook. Do you think this is now, with your observation, you've said you weren't on the pitch, you didn't see what happened. As an observation, this is about a relationship breaking down between medical personnel and the manager more than about procedure?
I'm glad you asked that question because that's it. Eva was doing her job. She thought that something happened on the pitch. As a professional, she went onto the pitch to protect that player. That's her job. That's all of our duty of care. What happened afterwards is, it's a shame, really, and I think it's really naive. Putting that on Facebook just undermines, the process of a team, keeping things together, working as a team. You can't bring that kind of thing in public. I think for me, that's the real damaging, unfortunate situation. Unfortunate situation of this whole incident.
Is there a breach of confidence there?
In what respect?
In terms of, perhaps you could explain what you're advised as to issues that happen between manager and medical personnel to post something like that on Facebook. I just wonder if there's a breach of confidence or confidentiality.
Not necessarily that. We as physicians are trained, as part of our, especially our sports medicine training, not to get involved in this type of thing. We're the supporters. We're supporter of the team. We're not part of the, we're not the players. We're not the stars. We're the supporters. This type of thing, if something happens in what happens in the house stays in the house. And that type of thing should never be spoken about outside.
Dr. Ralph Rogers, good to talk to you. Very frank opinions there. Thank you very much for talking to us on the Victoria Derbyshire programme.
You're welcome.
Now, many of you have been